Good evening. Well, who has the night there? As always, I can only wish it to be as much as possible for you a good one. Today, with the great efforts of the video group, a video of the content of our last meeting came out. So, everything has been published. There are some access restrictions, but these can be corrected so that this information reaches its destination. We've done this more than once. Everything that has been presented can be compared to a stone thrown at a target, and there is no stopping it. The situation cannot be reversed. Even a launched missile can be shut down by air defense, but there is no reversal or any stopping of the process. The process goes according to the established parameters where there are specific settings, conditions that can set this or that direction. Many of you during the previous meeting already showed uncertainly that the opposite side will not take it seriously, will refuse to fulfill the set requirements and many other things. For your information, I too doubted that there would be any positive outcome. I admit 10, maximum 15% that someone will make an appropriate decision to what was said. When I spoke, I emphasized that I didn't want to do it, but I was forced to do it. And this will happen again, which will force me to move forward directions because the process has been launched and it is impossible to stop it. It can only be controlled according to the conditions programmed in it. I have explained to you that my actions in this process change particularly nothing. The so-called opponents are destroying you slowly, and this is your agony. It causes horrific consequences, which gives you unlimited agony. And you, through this, influence your resonances and make them produce the right energy for your opponents. So, my intervention in this position only accelerates the process of liquidation of the illusion, the breaking of your torments, and the influence on your essences. The difference is that together with you will be removed from the illusion, eliminated those who do this, control this process, hurt you and destroy you. That is, the three-dimensional format of illusion will cease to exist. And everything will have already moved to a new level where the perpetrators and participants of this will be held accountable and depending on the determination of guilt destroyed. You have a term like the future, and of course you are all interested in what happens to everyone when the illusion ceases to exist. And since the probability that everything will follow the course of the launched process is very low, we will be preparing for the worst case scenario, the complete collapse of the illusion. We have not much time for this, as well as our opponents, but enough time to prepare for it. I warn you at once not to have any illusions, because the collapse of this state of illusion is only the beginning. You are the inhabitants of the state of illusion, and none of you have any idea what is going on outside of it, what the place is, what the conditions are, and much more. A small part of information about it for you was brought down here by the world religions, both civilization of the West and the East. Of course, it is very much distorted and adjusted to the control system of these algorithms. Religions have created some minimal idea of hell, paradise, which is the East, and in Russia is represented in the form of words Yev, Nev, Brev, which interact with each other. A few years ago, we started the topic of what happens beyond illusion, what kind of place is there, etc. Let me remind you that after the collapse of illusion, we will not be in a two-dimensional energy world. There will be a transition from the state of three-dimensional illusion to the state of three-dimensional reality, which was created by the creator of souls and its offspring, man, on the basis of which, in the form of plagiarism, Lucifer created this illusion of this three-dimensional state. Now, I'm going to very briefly, consciously present all the information you need. So, having created the Milky Way galaxy, then the solar system of the Earth, and the planet Earth, the Creator creates a three-dimensional state for souls for their self-reproduction, which is the process of restoration of its energy field. Man is a descendant, a child of a soul, which further in the process of its development becomes a soul like its mother. The three-dimensional format was designed for man, the child of the soul, so that he could develop more qualitatively and perceive information from their environment. The three-dimensional state created by the Creator is the actual reality, converts everything for man with 100% identity of the processes taking place. In this state, there are no plots, scenarios, roles. And of course, there are no directors or writers who write these plots, because everything is identically translated into three-dimensional format as the processes that the child of the soul, man, has encountered. You know that the scenery of your environment is a reflection of the nature that was created by the Creator in actual three-dimensional reality. And the difference between three-dimensional actual reality and illusion is probably obvious to you, because here illusion is an imaginary three-dimensional reality and there is a real reality. Each of the states, both actual reality and illusion, have a basis, wave energy medium. They do not correspond to each other, they are not identical. Both actual reality and illusion have their own with their own parameters. Therefore, the avatar form from actual reality cannot enter illusion, and the avatar form from illusion cannot enter actual reality. The environment of both these states, such alien avatars, of course destroys. That is why in this state created by the Creator there is what you call nav and prav, taking into account that your illusion is what you call yef. Only energy entities that have no form can be there, because the converter in the state of the Creator doesn't convert them, doesn't translate them into a three-dimensional format. So, plots, scenarios, roles do not work there. In order for this state to convert some form for them, it first had to be created so that it could be perceived. And as long as Lucifer and Satan existed, they created similar human forms, but they were genes that fit the invaders of this system and state. Lucifer and Satan had 3 atoms to create civilizations. They are Lemuria, Hyperborea, and Atlantis, which were destroyed. After Atlantis was destroyed, they were unable to create any more forms. That is why Lucifer created the illusion of the state of the Creator, which, as you already know, cannot exist without plots, scenarios, roles. Therefore, the collapse of the illusion brings us to the state of the three-dimensional actual reality created by the Creator. After the previous presentation, a question was asked about the so-called neutral zone. What will happen if we don't have time to prepare for this event? Then I answered consciously. We will use what we have, what has been created, as there is nowhere else to take something else. The thing is that the majority of those present during the meetings were very few people involved in this work, because most of those who had the opportunity decided to invest in their death, not in life. to give everything to the system. However, with those who came with me, we did as much as we could, as much as our opportunities allowed us. For your information, in spite of everything, their work continues and will continue until the last minute. The problem is that we are working on other people's platforms and we cannot present full information as we will not so much do any good for the common cause as harm ourselves. But in spite of this, the information is prepared for you and it will be presented to you where you spend most of your time and communicate. Furthermore, due to the lack of information, a lot of people can't understand what's going on there, what's being done there. So, I will give you some examples that will explain a lot of things to you. I often tell you that you think loudly, so I know that thoughts of the majority, even on this subject. They are supported by the system and, of course, they are so inhibiting to all our efforts. What the hell is he doing there? Some territory, some villages, collecting some equipment. What is he doing there? Is he building a farm for himself or something like that? Since here, in illusion, the three-dimensional format is presented in the form of some things, so the road I'm trying to make is a portal which should connect the transitional state with the state of the creator's real reality. Now I will try to confirm my words so that you can even be convinced by your own experience. There are many videos on the net from car DVRs, different video cameras, etc., where a car is driving down the road, there is nothing on the street, and it suddenly crashes into an invisible wall and flips over. It could also be a car that drives down the road and disappears, then reappears on it after a while. Not to mention the fact that all kinds of ghosts appear on the road. So, all roads, all streets and cities are portals of different entities of different purposes, which an illusion is displayed in the form of streets, road, and so on. Now another such very sore subject. Everybody is concerned about their rigor, their physical body, etc., and everybody is interested in what to do. So, I'm not giving anyone any advice. What to do, how to act, and so on. You have the information and you have to decide for yourself, especially when it comes to your relationships. You are responsible for yourself, for your behavior, which is controlled by your ego, and of course the control system is involved. A long time ago, I used to answer such questions. Act in such a way that you do not have to regret later, that you are not ashamed of your actions. And of course, control yourselves in your surroundings. All of you are equal, all of you should respect each other, understand, and of course, understand everything in all situations, starting with yourself. And if something goes wrong, first ask yourself a question. What am I do wrong? And do not blame others for their actions and behavior, because there is always such a thing as a response from others. That's why I said, walk with yourself individually and not try to imitate someone or something like that. You are all different. Therefore, one pattern doesn't match all. Then there will be no need to accuse anyone, to look for the guilty or something similar, as everyone does everything positive and negative under the control of the system himself. It is impossible to measure everyone by one yardstick, and what suits you doesn't mean that it will suit someone else. You have to agree and find a compromise between them, which is the neutral zone in a relationship. That's where it comes down to everyone here having information, trying to put it into practice. But you are all in different environments, in different versions of it. It's family, relatives, work colleagues, neighbors, so on. Therefore, this advice does not always help in these cases because this environment is not the environment that is created between you, those who gather here, learn, receive information, so on. What you have to realize is that everything I mentioned that surrounds you is influenced by the system. And this environment, in the family, at work, with neighbors, colleagues, relatives, etc., the system turns against you in a hostile way. Here, united by truth, faith, and so forth. And there, beyond everything is an illusion, and there you are surrounded by artists performing their roles according to their scripts and predetermined plots. Do not forget that you are only here as someone, outside you are nothing. Here you are observers who rise to the status of a witness, and out there you are an entertainer, a bad entertainer who does not want to play his role given by the system. There can be various misunderstandings, disputes, disagreements for only one reason: different levels of access to information. Some people know more, others less. Some people perceive it all faster, others slower, and etc. Everything will get better here, but there, outside, you are surrounded by a hostile, very cunning and insidious control system that controls those around you regardless of who they are: relatives, close friends, acquaintances, neighbors, etc. The system is not going to just let you go. Well, the second reason for everything is insufficient work with yourself. It is a baboon with its Pandora's box, which is subject to control from the outside, through thoughts. And it not only tries to separate you from everyone else and bring you back under its control, but also tries to destroy you if it fails to take you back. That's the end of today. We will meet on Sunday and then we will continue the topic. The sovereign of the universe, the first, Veles.